You're listening to Cross Rhythms Plymouth 96.3 FM, and I've got the pleasure and privilege of being joined in the studio by a couple of guests, one of which no stranger to the studio, but Bronia, it's your first time here. We've got Bronia and Luke, and it's great to have you here to talk about something that's been going on at Hope for quite a long time, something that has been kind of a heart of Hope Baptist Church for a little while, and that is the Soup Run. So Bronia, tell us a little bit about the Soup Run for those who've never heard of it. A lot of people have in the city, a lot of people have been involved, but that term Soup Run, they might not know what that means. What is a Soup Run?
Well, Soup Run takes food out and drink and clothes to the homeless, the vulnerable, every night, 365 nights of the year. We at Hope Baptist are responsible for Monday night Soup Run, and we call ourselves Hope Soup Run, but we are under the umbrella of Plymouth Soup Run.
Yeah.
And we go out and take this. The food is all prepared on the premises at Hope, and then we take that out in our trusty minibus.
Yeah.
And people are waiting at 4 different stops across the city for us to be there for them.
Yeah.
And it is a real lifeline.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I haven't prepped you for this question, which maybe is a bit unfair, but how long have you been involved, and what was the kind of reason as to why you got involved personally in the first place?
I think I got involved probably about 15 years ago, and
Okay.
I started off in the kitchen helping doing the prep of the food.
Yeah.
I thought I definitely didn't want to go out on the Soup Run, and then it was needed as a driver 1 week, so I went out, and actually from going out that night, my husband Tom and I had a vision to start a thing called Prayer Pastors, and based very much on street pastors that many people will know about. We go out and it's about providing a listening ear, someone to chat to. And our prayer pastors go out. We have 2 go out each week, and they are literally there just to
Amazing.
hear what people have to say. We can pray with people if they would like us to, but we've also got a home prayer team that the prayer pastor will link with, and people are at home praying live, and we found that's made a huge difference over the probably about 6 years we've been doing that. That's made a huge difference, we think.
Yeah, massively. So you're not just there to kind of care for the physical needs of the people on the Soup Run, but there to really, as you say, pastorally listen to them, take that kind of spiritual oversight and care for them.
Absolutely.
Again, not really a question I've prepped you for, but 15 years, that's quite a long time to have been involved. I mean, I'd kind of shudder to think what your answer is going to be to this, but I imagine the need's kind of gone up, unfortunately. I imagine the need is just as much there, if not more, than it has been in the past.
Hugely. When I started, we would probably prepare sandwiches for 40, or the bags prepare hot food for 40. Now we are regularly providing 90 plus, and sometimes we run out with that.
Wow.
So huge need with the cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
Some are literally street homeless, living on the street. Some are in accommodation, just cannot afford the food.
Yeah.
And so many say to us, this is the first time we've eaten today.
Gosh. Yeah. I mean, it's sad to have to ask that question and to know, I kind of knew what the answer would be, as you say, with the cost of living crisis, but it does just show how vital this is.
Absolutely.
And as we said, off air, we'd love that there was no need for this, that it didn't happen, but because it is needed, I'm so glad you guys are there and other people to do this. Now, one of your specific needs, and I will turn to you in a minute, Luke, it's been very patient, is the minibus. You've alluded to it already. You said that was kind of part of why you came into it, was as a driver. The Hope Baptist Church minibus for Soup Run on a Monday night is absolutely critical. It kind of can't really run without it. So tell us about the minibus, what it's used for, and what your need is now for a new minibus, basically.
You're right, Dave. I do believe we need a new minibus. Bessie, as I like to call her, is getting a little bit old, a little bit tired. Sometimes the doors don't work, and isn't really fit for purpose now with the extra food we're taking out. With a new bus, we would look to have different arrangement of seating and more storage.
Yeah.
The reason I think we need the bus is we are privileged to welcome, and I think it's possibly unique, that we welcome probably 12 different companies, workplaces, groups coming in to work with us, and lots of individuals.
Yeah.
And the logistics to try and take them out, it's probably 6 in a team, and our prayer pastor as well, and then the driver, who tends to be the team lead, looking after us, keeping us safe. To do all that, the logistics of trying to take cars, for me, I think it would be really difficult, because it's different teams, and not only is it different teams, there's different people on those teams.
Yeah.
So And also, to me, it's the fellowship of being on the bus.
Sure.
There's opportunity for conversations.
Yeah.
And we then look after, as a church, we look to look after our volunteers and give them opportunities to chat. And we listen to them and sometimes pray for them.
Yeah.
So that's a really important aspect of it, is with all these people coming into our church.
Yeah, absolutely.
That we look after them.
And it is kind of the very hands and feet practical nature of faith, isn't it? So it's where faith becomes action based, and you're meeting some of the most vulnerable people in the city. So for you as a church to invite, as you say, people who probably don't call themselves Christians, from businesses, they're there just because they see the good in that and want to serve, for them
Absolutely.
to feel part of the community. As you said, that the minibus is really important. We're going to stop for some music. I'm going to talk with Luke as well after this break, and we will talk more about the minibus need. There's a crowdfunding campaign. It's a big reason why you're in here in the studio, rather than just talking about the soup run. We're going to talk more about that and how you can support, if you're listening to this and thinking, I would like to support that. We'll talk more about that after this. You're listening to Cross Rhythms Plymouth 96.3 FM, and I'm joined by Bronia and Luke from Hope Baptist Church here in Plymouth, just down the road from where we are, so you haven't had too far to come. Talking about the soup run specifically, or we have done so far, and we've spoken to you, Bronia, about kind of 15 years of service in that, its involvement in helping the neediest with food, particularly, and provision from Hope every Monday night, although the soup run is involved every day of the week from different locations. So Luke, then, you're the minister at Hope Baptist Church, and obviously you've been the minister for not that long, not a number of years now, but not too long. So Soup Run kind of predates you, something you've come in and seen in the life of the church going on before you. What's it meant to you as a minister to sort of see that happen on a Monday night, to know that goes out from the church? Why do you feel it's important in the life of your church?
Yeah, it's a great question, and like you said, I haven't been here that long. I've been here almost 5 years now, and one of the things which I think for me has been a real blessing to see, that during COVID, when things were really stripped back, we couldn't do anything, we had to meet online and all of the things like every other church did, it was Soup Run really, which was the kind of practical thing as a church that we could still get on board with and still get involved with. So even through that really hard period, there was still people going out every single week to bless those who were in a much worse position than we were, being locked down in our houses. And I think that really galvanised the church at that point as well, through that period, and encouraged people to get on board. And Bronia's kind of been heading up the Soup Run for about 18 months now, and since Bronia has taken it on, there's been a whole number of people from within our congregation that have got involved in it as well, who have stepped up to the plate to really serve in this ministry and help Bronia out to make it happen. So it's really exciting to see the church getting behind it and putting this practical love of Jesus in action.
Yeah. And I know from speaking with you in the past, I think you've been a guest on other shows here, a big part of your heart as a minister is kind of sharing the Christian faith evangelically, sharing the love of Jesus, as you say, through kind of preaching and inviting people into the church. This is, as you said, a very practical way that love is demonstrated, isn't it? And so do you feel that's absolutely vital to the church? Is that something you want to just keep going forever? Is that kind of something that you put a high weight on as a minister?
I mean, as a church, I think really embedded into the DNA of the church is a heart for social justice and social action. So we have the Soup Run, we're also involved in Christians Against Poverty as well. So it's really at the core of who we are. We want to see Jesus' love practically shared with the people of Plymouth, and Soup Run is a vital way of doing that. And I think one of the blessings of Soup Run, as Bronia's already touched on, is the prayer pastor aspect of it as well, where people are going out and people on the streets are generally very open to be prayed for and often just want a listening ear. So there's a whole number of angles which I think blesses us as a church to be involved in this ministry.
That's awesome. That's really, really good stuff. So you have touched on it already, Bronia, but the bus itself, obviously, Luke, is more than just the Soup Run's bus. It's going to be Hope's bus. So what else does the bus get used for kind of throughout the year? How is it important to the life of the church and kind of, serving people through other things as well as the Soup Run?
Yeah, it's a real blessing to have a bus as a church. There's a number of things which we use it for, from transporting people on a Sunday who can't get to church any other way, We use it for various different social aspects and outreaches that we do in a church. If we're doing something, it's helpful to have that bus there to take people out to things. We have youth groups that meet that use the bus. We're taking, I think it's something like 40 people on a camp in the summer, young people. So having a bus to transport young people and their luggage and everything is really good. And also we have a Chinese fellowship which meet on our premises on a Sunday afternoon, who use the bus to transport members of their congregation around too.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it really is a huge part of the life of the church. Bronia, coming back to you then. So, obviously we've touched mostly on the soup run. It's the kind of regular weekly aspect where the bus is used. It's kind of one of the most areas where the bus is most vital, most key. So whilst it is Hope Baptist's bus at large, it's absolutely specifically key for the soup run.
Absolutely.
Where can people get involved in this? How can they support you? And what sort of support are you looking for, I suppose, for this particular campaign?
Certainly financially at the moment.
Yeah.
A new minibus could be £20,000 or so. It wouldn't be new, but it'd be new to us. But to get, and the more money we raise, the more options we have of a suitable bus. And we wanted it to be suitable not only for taking all the stuff out. We do the clothes and the food and everything on the soup run. We want it to be as valuable as it can be to the whole church. So at the moment we're running a crowdfunder that runs till the end of April. And I think you're going to tell us how people can get involved with that. But also, if people would like to, they can give directly to Hope Baptist Church, but do label it for the minibus or for soup run. Then we know that is available. And we've also got a card machine at church that can be used if people would like to give that way. Yeah,
that's great. And that's amazing to hear that it's such a, it kind of creates that sense of community on the soup run. I love what you said earlier, that otherwise it'd be very disparate, people in different cars, that sense of community engagement, which is quite unique to the Hope soup run in some ways, in the sense that people from businesses come in, they get involved and they're part of that church team for that Monday, and what that means for them in terms of exploring faith and stuff is key. So the minibus really is key. So those details then, which you have said I will pass on. Crowdfunder. So crowdfunder.co.uk is the main website. You can search on there. If you click on Explore, you can search for Replacing Bessie Bus, which is the name of the bus, I think given by you, Bronia.
I think so.
So Bessie, Bessie bus. Or if you search Soup Run, I found it through that as well. So kind of crowdfunder.co.uk. Even if you search on Google for Crowdfunder Replacing Bessie Bus, it will come up for you and you'll see the page there. The target on the crowdfunder is £10,000. But as you say, people can give other ways as well. So Hope Baptist Church, you can find out ways to get in touch and just generally about the life of the church at hopebaptist.co.uk. And there's a kind of get in touch page there and stuff where you can get in touch and ask for bank details and support, or just turn up at church and say you want to support. I'm sure you'd be happy with that. Good stuff. Well, thanks for your time, guys. And we wish you all the best with this campaign.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.